As a leader in your organization, it's important that what you do is consistent with what you say. That's especially true within compensation. For example, if you have a very strong culture of pay for performance at your company, you're going to want to make sure that you reward your top performers significantly more than your underperformers or your average performers. Now, on the flip side, maybe your culture is more of a team culture and you all win together or you all lose together. In that case, maybe you want to minimize that top performer mentality and not pay as much to your top performers, or maybe you have a different strategy altogether. The nice thing is that Compies can take care of both scenarios for you. Let me show you what I mean. Right now you're looking at something called a merit matrix. Each one of these little gray cells represents an increase to the base pay of an employee. On this vertical axis you have performance level. So people who are far exceeding expectations, they're going to make more than their colleagues who have unacceptable performance. So this would represent a little bit more of a pay for performance environment. Now, some organizations, they want to factor in compa ratios, and see our post about compa ratios to get a clear understanding of what that is. But some organizations want to factor in compa ratios when they're determining year-end salaries, salary increases, that is. So for example, somebody who's far exceeding expectations, you may have two people who are far exceeding expectations, but one of them has a low compa ratio, right? They make less than the average industry. Maybe you want to give them a little bit more than somebody who's also far exceeding expectations, but they already have a high compa ratio, right? They're already making a lot more than others in their industry. And so maybe you don't give them quite as much. So this is the basics of a merit matrix. Let me show you what this has to do with a pay for performance environment. If you have a culture that is really pay for performance based, you may want to make sure that this performance level number is high. So a 2 or a 3 or not a 2, or maybe a 3 or a 4 or 5 or a 6% increase. That's going to reward your top performers. Now, if you have a real team feel, then maybe what you want to do is lower that number and increase the base pay for some of those employees. I'm going to save those changes right there. Now, when I go back to the merit matrix, I'm going to be able to see that this is spread a little bit more peanut butter style, right? It's kind of spreading out the increase across the organization a little differently. Now, is there a right way or a wrong way to set up a merit matrix? Not necessarily. What you really want to make sure that you're doing is being consistent with your messaging. Allow your actions to reinforce the words that you're saying as a leader in the organization. The beautiful thing is that whether you are a pay-for-performance environment or whether you're a team that just wins together or loses together, Compies can help you. Thanks for watching, and thanks for using Compies.